The silence on Xylos has a texture. It's not an absence of sound, but a presence of stillness. It's in the fine gray dust that coats my boots, the petrified remains of a forest, flash fossilized by a weapon that cared nothing for biology. It's in the bruised purple and ochre glow of the Cygnus Nebula, a smear of cosmic violence that hangs in the black sky like an old wound. For 52 years, this has been the texture of peace. My name is Kaelen Vance. I am a Mnemonic Architect, and my canvas is this dead world. Before me, the half-finished mnemonic spire rises into the thin atmosphere. It doesn't look like a monument, not yet. It's a kilometer-tall lattice of shimmering crystalline filaments, grown atom by atom by a swarm of geode drones. They flicker like a cloud of captured stars, their work a silent mathematical ballet. When it's complete, the spire will not show you statues of heroes. It will pull the psychic residue from this planet's bedrock and make you live the memories of the war. It is a monument to truth. Or, at least that's what the treaty specifies. I am not alone on the obsidian glass observation platform. 10 meters to my left, he hovers. My counterpart. The mind that remembers scars. I just call him Scars. Not to his face, of course. We don't have faces in our conversations. We have my neural lace and his entire being. He is a glyph, a concordance of trillions of metallic, self-aware filaments. Today, his form is a tightly woven geometric knot of silver and obsidian, a shape I've come to learn signifies judgmental patience. He has no eyes, but I feel his gaze. We haven't exchanged a single thought in 3 full rotations. The silence is our armistice. He is a living library of his people's suffering. I am the legacy of the man who inflicted a great deal of it, General Aris Thorne, the butcher of the Cygnus Veil, my mentor, my savior. The ghost that stands between us always. A chime, soft as a sigh, resonates not in my ears, but directly in my mind. A priority alert from the spire's deep core probe. My neural lace overlays the data in my vision, a translucent screen only I can see. My breath catches. The air, recycled and sterile inside my helmet, suddenly feels too thin. The Cygnus Veil, the final, horrifying crescendo of the war, Thorne's last stand. The place Scar's people were unmade. The place his originating Creesh cluster was annihilated. I don't have to look at him. I feel the shift. His telepathic presence, normally a low, cold hum at the edge of my perception, sharpens. He has the same alert. Our ciphers, the brutal neural interfaces that translate his consciousness into something that won't shatter my mind, are linked to the spire's core. The piece is over. I compose my thoughts, stripping them of emotion, packaging them into a stream of pure, cold data. It is the only way to speak to him without being flayed by the backlash. I transmit. The response is not data. It is a wave. It crashes through my cipher and into my consciousness, a feeling of ice and old fire. It's the raw qualia of his being, 3 millennia of institutional grief, of duty, of hatred so pure and cold, it's almost a physical force. Wrapped around the feeling are the words, sharp as broken glass. Corruption, a convenient term. The truth is not a contagion, Architect Vance. It is a blade. You seem to believe your function is to dull its edge. I keep my posture relaxed, my hands clasped behind my back. I am a child of ruins. I learned control from the master of it. My function is to ensure the integrity and safety of this memorial, Remembrancer. Unfiltered Veil-era memories have caused psychic hemorrhaging in human visitors and feedback psychosis in glyph observers. Protocol is not a preference, it is a necessity. His form shifts. The intricate knot of his filaments loosens, flowing into a new shape. A complex lattice of razor-sharp angles. It is the glyph configuration for accusation. Your General Thorne did not deal in half measures. He did not quarantine his weapons for safety. He unleashed them. He perfected the art of turning a mind into a shriek of eternal agony. And you, his student, his legacy, speak to me of protocol when a fragment of his handiwork appears? You do not wish to analyze it. You wish to hide it. The accusation lands like a physical blow. A hot surge of fury, of defensiveness rises in my throat. I fight it down. He wants a reaction. He wants the feral scrapper girl from Viridia Prime to show herself. I will not give him the satisfaction. General Thorne ended the war. I transmit, my own thoughts now sharper than I intend. The raw emotion is leaking through. He made a choice no one else was willing to make. He chose to become a monster. Scars returns, and with the thought comes a flash. A psychic echo he projects intentionally. It is the memory of a memory, the sound of a billion minds screaming as they are extinguished. It is the constant, low-frequency hum of his existence, amplified for a moment into a deafening roar in my head. I stagger, my hand flying to my helmet as my cipher struggles to dampen the input. Pain, agony, loss so absolute it has no frame of reference. He lives with this. He is this. I straighten up, my heart hammering against my ribs. My jaws clenched so tight it aches. Enough. The pretense of civility is fractured. The Cold War has just turned hot. Fine, I transmit, the single word laced with venom. For a moment, Scar's form seems to still. A flicker of what feels like surprise, of grudging respect, touches my mind before it is buried again in the cold abyss of his sorrow. As you wish, Architect. I turn and walk back into the airlock of the mobile command center, a sterile white bubble of hard light constructs and humming machinery. Scars drifts silently behind me. I don't offer him a seat. He doesn't need one. He simply hovers in the center of the room, a silent, geometric god of grief. I sit in the interface throne, its cool gel-like surface molding to my body. I pull the haptic interface cowl over my head. The world dissolves into a sea of data. Spire core, I subvocalize, my words translated to pure command code by my lace. Isolate, fragment 7 delta. Prepare for dual consciousness immersion. Link my cipher directly to the Remembrancer's concordance. Prioritize stream stability over sensory dampening. A machine-generated voice responds in my mind. Warning, sensory dampeners at minimum. Risk of psychic trauma is 97.3%. Execute. I glance at Scar's shimmering form. Through the data stream, I send one last thought. A challenge. Are you ready to see your truth, Remembrancer? Or his? His only reply is a pulse of profound, unwavering sorrow. They are the same. And then, the world falls away. There is no smooth transition. There is only a violent, instantaneous displacement. I am no longer Kaelen Vance, architect. I am Corporal Jax, Terran Confederacy Infantry, 3rd Division. My armor feels heavy. The air scraping my lungs is thick with ozone and cordite. My pulse rifle is slick with sweat and something else, something dark. The sky is not the black of space, but a roiling, screaming canvas of pure chaos. This is the bridge of the glyph command vessel, the unfathomable heart. And we are losing. The glyph are not the elegant, sorrowful beings of shifting light that Scars represents. Here, in the heart of their war machine, they are a tide of weaponized filaments, a storm of living metal that strips flesh from bone in microseconds. I see a man next to me, his face contorted in a scream that makes no sound, dissolve into a red mist as the storm touches him. But that is not the horror. The true horror is what they are doing to the captured. They don't kill them, they assimilate them. A shimmering wave of filaments descends on a wounded soldier, and his mind is splayed open. I can feel it through the low-level telepathic noise. His memories, his identity, his very soul being unraveled, catalogued, and absorbed into the glyph consciousness. A fate so much worse than death. A violation absolute. Panic, cold and sharp, floods me. It is not my panic. It is Corporal Jax's. He knows his orders. We are the last line. We are here to plant a beacon, a very special beacon. A voice crackles over the comms. A voice I know from 1,000 archival recordings. A voice that taught me the beauty of quantum physics in the ruins of my homeworld. It is calm, measured, impossibly serene amidst the carnage. General Aris Thorne. Corporal Jax, the voice says, cutting through the chaos. The enemy's assimilation wave has breached our psychic defenses. You know your objective. The mnemonic bomb is your only command now. The mnemonic bomb. Thorne's masterpiece, a psychic plague. It doesn't just kill, it attacks the mind, the memory, the very concept of self, turning a consciousness into a feedback loop of its own worst fears until it burns out. Annihilation of the soul itself. I feel Jax's terror, but beneath it, a grim resolve.
He looks at the writhing form of his captured comrade, his friend's mind being devoured, and the choice becomes simple. Horrible, but simple. Merciful annihilation, or eternal violation. Thorne was not a butcher. He was a surgeon, performing a radical, agonizing amputation to save the patient. And then I feel it. A new sensation, riding tandem with Jax's resolve. It is a wave of pure, unadulterated shock from the other mind linked to mine. Scars. He is feeling what I am feeling, seeing what I am seeing. The concept of his people as violators, as consumers of consciousness, is so alien to his curated history of noble victimhood that it rocks the very foundation of his being. The grief he carries is for the dead. He has no framework for the sins of the living. Jax fights his way to the core of the ship, a pulsating sphere of light. He slams the small black pyramid of the mnemonic bomb onto the console. For the Confederacy, Jax whispers, his voice hoarse. For Terra. Thorne's voice comes back, impossibly gentle. No, Corporal. For them, so they don't have to suffer this. Jax activates the bomb. The world does not explode. It implodes. A wave of pure anti-thought, of psychic void, expands from the pyramid. I feel the glyph consciousness, that vast, ancient, intricate web of minds, touch it, and then scream. It is a scream that is not a sound. It is the raw, agonizing dissolution of self. It is a billion minds being turned inside out, forced to experience an eternity of terror in a single nanosecond. And through my link with Scars, I feel it as he does. I feel the echo of his crush cluster dying. I feel the psychic architecture of his soul cracking under the strain of a truth he was never meant to know. His pain is so immense, so absolute, it nearly scours me from existence. Jax's mind, his body, everything dissolves in the blast. The memory ends. Silence. I am back in the interface throne. The cowl is humming. My face is wet with tears I don't remember crying. My body is trembling uncontrollably. I look at Scars. He is no longer a knot, no longer a lattice of sharp angles. His form is chaotic, a turbulent, uncontrolled storm of shimmering filaments, drifting aimlessly as if the intelligence holding them together has been shattered. The cold, judgmental presence in my mind is gone. In its place is a void. A howling emptiness that mirrors the weapon we just witnessed. Slowly, painfully, his filaments begin to coalesce, not into a shape of grief or anger or judgment, but into a simple, questioning sphere. A form I have never seen, a single, fragile thought touches my cipher. It is not a wave, but a whisper. It is not a statement, but a question. It contains no anger, no hatred, only a universe of stunned, horrified confusion.
Mercy, the concept is broken. A word he understands intellectually, but whose application in this context is so monstrous, so contradictory. It has no meaning. To save by annihilation? To be cruel? To be kind? Human logic. The logic of Aris Thorne. My own justifications feel like ash in my mouth. I saw the truth. I saw Thorne's reasoning. And I saw the face of the cure, and it was just as monstrous as the disease. We were both monsters. We just had different reasons. I rise from the throne on shaking legs and walk to the viewport, looking out at the half-finished spire. It seems different now, not a monument to truth, but a testament to a lie. The lie that there is one truth, the lie that one side was right and the other wrong. The project has to change, I sub-vocalize, my words transmitted to him. My voice is raw, stripped of all artifice. We can't build a monument to heroes and villains. There weren't any, not in the end. I turn to face him. The sphere of his form trembles. We build a new spire, I say, the idea taking form as I speak it. One that holds both memories side by side, the memory of your people's pain and the memory of the soldier who inflicted it, not as an accusation and not as a justification, but as a question. We build a monument that asks one thing of everyone who enters: what would you have done? For a long time, the sphere just hangs there, shimmering. The silence returns, but its texture has changed. It is no longer a cold, empty piece. It is heavy, filled with the weight of a shared, unbearable truth. Then a final thought emanates from him. It is quiet. It is not agreement. It is not forgiveness. It is something far more fragile and far more profound. It is the glyph concept for a beginning. The acknowledgement of a new, more complex, and more terrible problem to be solved. Inquiry. I look from the alien in my room to the spire on the horizon. The 1,000-year peace was a lie. The war never truly ended. It just went silent. Now, here in the graveyard of a forgotten world, it felt like we had finally, truly, signed the first term of a real and terrible peace. And our work was just beginning.